Okay, so picture this. An opera so dangerous its premiere ends in an actual full-blown riot. I mean, an opera so powerful it gets labeled a threat to the entire state. We're going to dive into this incredible story from 1930s Germany, all about a piece of musical theater that, no joke, tried to put the entire modern world on trial.
And right after seeing it, the famous philosopher Theodor Adorno wrote this. And you got to understand, he wasn't just, reviewing a show. He was diagnosing society itself. He basically said, we all live in Mahagani. He saw it as this place where everything, and I mean everything, is allowed, except for one tiny thing. And that one thing, well, it changes absolutely everything.
All right, so let's travel back to that night. We're in Leipzig, Germany. It's the premiere of this opera, The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahogany, by the legendary duo Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill. And you can just feel it. The air is totally electric, but really not in a good way.
I mean, the scene was just pure chaos. This wasn't just a few bad reviews, This was physical violence. You've got Nazi brown shirts protesting outside. Inside, people in the audience are literally trading punches. The noise got so loud, so completely out of control, that the conductor couldn't even hear the music he was supposed to be leading. And of course, the authorities immediately branded the whole thing a Jewish Bolshevik threat.
So, yeah, that brings us to the big question, right? The whole reason we're digging into this. What on earth was so dangerous about this opera? I mean, what could possibly be so provocative about a musical that it would cause this kind of massive explosion? What was the secret they were all so afraid of, hidden inside the city of Mahogany?
Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at the story itself. So, Mahogany is this make-believe city, founded in the middle of the American desert by 3 criminals on the lam. And it's a city built for one thing and one thing only: pure pleasure. The founder of the city, a madam they call Lady Bird Beigbik, she lays out the whole philosophy right at the beginning. It's simple. Forget work. Forget suffering. In Mahogany, the one and only goal is to do exactly what you please, whenever you please. It's this promise of total, absolute freedom, all through total indulgence.
And this is where the opera's truly radical idea comes in. See, in Mahagoni, who you are isn't defined by your thoughts or what you create or your character. Nope, it's all about what you can buy and what you can consume. It's this brutal, purely transactional kind of paradise where your worth is literally measured by the cash in your wallet.
And this is where the whole thing takes a dark turn. So our main guy, a lumberjack named Jimmy, shows up and he totally buys into the hype. He drinks, he gambles, he lives it up. But then he makes a fatal mistake. He loses a bet and finds himself unable to pay for a round of whiskey. And in Mahagoni, that's it. That's the ultimate sin. He's arrested, put on trial, and sentenced to death in the electric chair. And his crime? It wasn't murder, it wasn't theft. His only crime was having no money. Just think about that.
Now, this wasn't just some far-out fantasy story. For intellectuals like Adorno and his colleagues in the Frankfurt School, this opera was like a perfect, absolutely terrifying mirror of the world they saw around them. They saw the brutal logic of Mahagoni as the hidden truth of capitalism itself. And you have to look at what was happening right outside the theater doors. In the months right after the opera premiered, Germany's whole political system was just collapsing. The 1929 Wall Street crash had left the economy in total ruins. And look at this. The Nazi Party went from having just 12 seats in the government to a staggering 207. The chaos on stage wasn't just a story. It was reflecting a very, very real anarchy happening in the streets.
So this is the key to understanding how the Frankfurt School saw all this. They developed this idea called critical theory. And the point wasn't just to sit back and passively describe the world. No, it was supposed to be a tool, a way to dissect society, to peel back the layers and expose all the hidden violence and craziness, what Adorno called the anarchy of commodity production that was simmering just beneath the surface of normal life. And for them, Mahogany put that on stage perfectly.
And all of this kicked off this huge debate right at the heart of modern art. What is art even for? I mean, is its job to give us a beautiful escape from how harsh reality can be, or should it be a weapon, an assault on that reality, designed to shake us and wake us up?
Adorno really framed this whole debate by pitting 2 famous composers against each other. So on one side, you've got Arnold Schoenberg. His music is, well, it's difficult, it's jarring. Adorno said it was like a conglomeration of broken shards. It wasn't trying to make you feel good, it was trying to make you feel the brokenness of the world. And then on the other side, you've got Igor Stravinsky. He was bringing back all these old, comfortable, familiar musical forms. And to Adorno, that was just a pleasant, but ultimately dishonest escape.
You know, Brecht had this brilliant kind of insulting term for that kind of escapist art. He called it culinary. Think about it. It's art that's designed to be consumed, just like a fancy meal. It's tasty, it fills you up, it makes you feel satisfied, and it asks absolutely nothing from you in return. It's basically a drug that helps you forget about the world's problems instead of forcing you to actually look at them.
But here's where the story takes a fascinating twist. What about the critics themselves, right? I mean, if these theories were so powerful, what were they actually doing about it in the real world? It didn't take long for these very same thinkers to start getting criticism from their own side. And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? For all their brilliant, razor-sharp analysis of capitalism's problems, were the folks at the Frankfurt School just talking to each other? Were they actually helping to solve anything? Or had they just become another part of the problem?
And this leads to maybe the most famous, most cutting critique of them all, from another philosopher, George Lukács. He said that thinkers like Adorno had taken up residence in the Grand Hotel Abyss. Just imagine that, a beautiful, five-star luxury hotel built right on the edge of a bottomless pit. From their plush, comfortable rooms, they could gaze out at the abyss, write these amazing, profound things about it, but they never, ever had to actually risk falling in themselves.
Brecht, who, remember, was their artistic partner on Mahagoni, he had an even harsher name for them. He called them twiz, which was basically his own scrambled-up, mocking term for intellectuals. In his eyes, they were traitors to the revolution. He believed they had the intellectual tools to actually help the working class, but instead, they just sat around writing these super complex theories that did absolutely nothing to spark a real change in the world.
And that brings us all the way back to right here, right now. The Weimar Republic is ancient history. The Frankfurt School has mostly scattered to the winds, but that central burning question from that dangerous old opera, it's still hanging in the air. Have we actually escaped Mahagoni, or have we just built a bigger, global version of it?
I mean, really think about it for a second. Is our world today just a giant mahogany where everything, and maybe even everyone, has a price tag? A world where the single biggest fear, the ultimate failure, is just running out of money?
And what about all the entertainment we consume? Our art, our movies, our music, or streaming shows? Is any of it really challenging us? Is it waking us up to the contradictions of the world? Or, let's be honest, is most of it just culinary? You know, a pleasant, soothing distraction that's really just designed to keep us all consuming happily and quietly.
The opera closes with this absolutely desperate, haunting chant. The characters are just frantically searching for the next distraction, the next thing to buy, the next fleeting pleasure. It's such a chilling ending, and it forces us to ask ourselves a pretty uncomfortable question. At the end of the day, are we all just running from one whiskey bar to the next, just hoping, praying that we don't run out of money before the music finally stops?